big Eminem kick lately. I don't know what's going on with me.
Well, new tune, right? And then you have a new album out.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like #1 everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Somehow.
like
May
the
have
New York
heard
Times.
it.
It's like the New York Times bestseller list. It's like, oh, it's on the New York Times, but like, is it? Feels like every book is on the bestseller list. Every song is the #1 song.
They're
You
all
know,
everything's great.
yeah, everybody's so happy.
There isn't a miss out there.
I used to love. We used to have at the radio station. It was the #1 adult album alternative record. It's like, really? Where is that on the pop charts? Oh, number 457. It's like, okay, all right. So we created a whole separate chart for people who can't break 400.
It's #1 on songs called this with this specific title.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, AOA podcast. Frankie C is here.
Hey,
we're going to recap the address from the president of these United States from the Oval Office. He just got done talking, I guess. So we'll share our thoughts and reaction on that. A little interesting statistic on why Kamala Harris might actually be able to pull out a win here.
Is it because she could spell better than you?
Yeah, this might help Kamala.
Okay.
This may help Kamala. And why Elon went red. I finally found out why he's so angry and the truth behind that $45 million monthly donation to Donald Trump, which is not happening.
Are all his billions upsetting him?
Yeah. Well, no, it's an interesting story, actually. I can't wait to share it with you. And Veep is getting a boost from Joe Biden pulling out of the 2024 election, believe it or not. That's the HBO show. Lots of people are rushing to it because the clips are actually applicable to what is happening in reality.
Line up a little bit?
It's a little too much.
All right.
A little too close for comfort. And Aaron C. is back for another round of game time. Oh, my God. It's a podcast.
It is a podcast.
It'll be a miracle if I make it through this episode because I've had shoddy internet all day long and then no internet for a half hour leading up to the exact moment that we pressed go live. So,
is this part of the worldwide glitch or whatever the hell?
I think so. Well, remind me when we get up to Elon, we have a lot to talk about. Let's go in order. President Biden's address. Did you watch it just now? He spoke for about 15 minutes or so, 12 minutes, whatever.
No, I didn't see it yet.
Okay. You didn't miss anything. It was pretty much reiterating what he said in his letter and his commitment to what he's going to do. Of course, he's only in office for another 5 months. Well, I guess 6 months because he stays till January, whatever. Yeah, so 6 or 7 months, 6.5 months, whatever it is. And he's making his vow to continue to do all the things that he said he was going to do, which is lovely. It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. It's nice, certainly nice of him to do that. But I found it pretty interesting in the sense that it was like a campaign promise. Like he basically was saying what he would have said if he was running, and what he was going to do in his first 100 days. He is now suddenly going to do this in his last 6 months.
Cool.
Doesn't really seem possible. I mean, he's basically a lame duck president, right? This is the very definition of lame duck when you are on your way out and you have nothing else to do. And
well, we'll see what he gets done. He's got 6 months to do whatever.
He's not going to do anything. He's not going to get
nothing. Okay.
I mean, he's not going to get anything done. I would love it. No.
Ever?
Let me think about this. Wait. No.
Okay.
Confirmed. No. I was a little surprised and a little taken back because he said he wasn't going to be doing it wasn't going to be a political speech and that he wasn't going to mention Donald Trump or anything like that. But indeed, he did kind of go down that same road of, we got to choose good over evil. We've got to,
And what made you think of Donald Trump?
Yeah. I mean, I guess so, right? Technically, he didn't mention him.
Why do you think he was referring to him?
I mean, come on. He pretty much was referring to him, I think. Right. Do you want to hear the highlight from the president's speech?
Sure.
All right. Here it is for you. We got it up on on all our social media right now. There's the president right there. And here's a little highlight from the.
That's all, folks. That's all, folks.
That's succinct. That's good.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to. I wanted to really get down to the meat of his message. You know.
You know, it drives the message straight home, and it's clear.
Yeah.
And it fits. It's nice.
I feel like if he would have let me write the speech, we would have saved the American people 11 minutes and 45 seconds of their lives. But
Right.
you know, not everybody, Frank, recognizes the talent in this room right now. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Now, I heard it before, and I thought it was funny, and then I just realized, just now as you played it this time,
Yeah.
we are in no way making fun of Joe Biden's stutter.
No,
that's not what that was. Just saying.
doesn't matter. We can make fun of stutters.
No, it's a speech impediment. You're not supposed to do that. It's not cool.
Says who?
I don't know. Someone said that.
Stop being so nice.
I read it on a bumper sticker.
don't make excited. I mean, people make fun of things. He's the president.
No, make it.
First of all, the president of the United States is subject to every kind of joke that you could possibly make.
Not all of them.
All right, wait a second. You never made fun of Donald Trump's orange skin. You did it on the last episode.
Yeah, but
Let's
that's
be
a choice he's making. he's dipping himself in cheese doodle dust before he goes out in the morning.
His hair, you never made fun of his hair.
Again,
We don't make
he
fun of
slaps his bald head with glue and then runs through a haystack. That's how he does his hair in the morning.
This guy makes fun of me all the time. All the time. I'm trying to work on my quieter Trump because I feel like we're entering the quieter Trump phase.
As he becomes 80 and enters his 80s.
Yeah, I think so. By the way, we are so past unifying Trump. I mean, we can't even see the 4 minutes where he was unifying Trump from where we're standing right now. We're so far.
When has he ever been unifying Trump?
If you watch the first 7 minutes of his RNC speech, that was when he was recounting the shooting and everything like that. He was very Mr. Unity, and he did say, "We're gonna unite. There's gonna be a unification
against the radical, crazy Democrats that are destroying this country."
He did that, but it was very. His first is like, I walked into the room and I thought we've got to unite. This is gonna be it. We're gonna unite. And I walked in and I said, "Wow, look at how we're uniting together." That's what
Really?
that was basically his speech.
That's brings you back to Shakespeare. That's how elegant that is.
A lot of people tell me we need to unite, and I talked to Don Jr. and
Don Jr. is there. He is beautiful. And he tells me all the great things that he does, and I don't know what they are, but
yeah,
he tells me we need to unite.
All kidding aside, though,
you were kidding?
Yeah, a little bit. Boy, we dodged one with that Biden there. He looks worse today than he did at the debate. Like
Did he?
I don't. If he is alive this time next year, I will be surprised. I mean, he just looks. I mean, you've had old sick relatives when they're just getting up there and they just look terrible and they just very quiet and they're
plus the presidency
sounding.
Just rapidly.
Oh,
that's a notorious thing about the presidency. It just ages you fast.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
every
a good point.
president. You look at the before and after. It's a huge difference.
The day one picture and the last day picture.
All except Trump. I don't know.
They're all so much great. I don't know about Trump. He was fatter though. I think. I'm pretty sure he was fatter.
When you play golf 3 times a week, that'll thin you out a little bit.
What'd you make of that video of him and Bryson DeChambeau, Rochambeau for it?
I don't know who that is.
He's one of the golfers. You didn't see this video? He was like Bryson DeChambeau. They went out and they golfed together.
Okay.
You didn't see it? No. He could golf, actually. Trump can golf.
Yeah, who can't? I can golf. It doesn't mean he's a good golfer.
When was the last? I don't know. When was the last time you gave him any sort of credit for anything? Do you remember?
Never. I will.
Okay. Got it. That was a good video too, though, because he was like, He's like, I hear you like music. He's like, oh, you should see my playlist. I got
I would love to see his playlist.
I got some playlists. Well, he was on some podcast. Do you remember that one? And he was like, they were like, I hear you like spin. He goes, I don't spin.
I pick.
I pick.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? What are you saying?
He reminds me a little bit.
Pick.
He reminds me a little bit of my father. My father is obsessed with Spotify. He's like, my dad does the same thing. He's like, you got to hear this playlist I put together. I'm like, what is it? The Beach Boys in Chicago? Is it? Because it's been done before. It's like, no, you don't understand.
You're not the first to put those.
Yeah, he's
they're like first alphabetically. You're very close.
He's like, I put a little Frank Sinatra, and then I put a little Jimmy Roselli in there. It's dynamite. He's like, you got to hear it. Okay, I'm like, put it on. Go ahead.
Acting like he wrote the songs.
Oh, he's all into it. There's something about that generation.
The order I put him in. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
They're just so proud of their playlists. Although I will say, I do love a good playlist. I was searching, so I'm in the studio the other day, and I'm just reading and hammering away, and I'm just like, oh, I'd love to hear like Sublime and like maybe some Bob Marley and maybe some like 311. So I plop it into Spotify.
What's wrong with you?
And what? That's a good mix.
Bob Marley, I'll give you.
You don't like Sublime?
Oh,
Sublime is so good.
You get like 2-3 songs and you're done. I can't go past that.
No, Sublime is you're crazy. It's crazy talk. Anyway, so I search it, and then the playlist that comes up is, if you were a stoner in the 90s, you'll love this playlist. That was the name of the playlist. And so I put it on, and it was a little Eminem. It was just like a little bit of everything from the 90s. And I was like, shit, this is good. I was really, really digging it big time. Yeah.
Can't you just go, hey, play stuff from the 90s? I feel like it's going to be the same shit.
You can, but it's weird how, like,
I don't have Spotify, by the way.
I know you're a YouTube guy, right?
I do YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. Even like the Dave Matthews, like there are some sometimes you just want a particular kind of Dave Matthews, like the more dancier stuff, or sometimes like the more quieter stuff. And some of the playlists out there are pretty dead on, but I still find myself going, oh, they just had these 2 other songs. It would be perfect.
See, I search for the specific songs. Like, do you just say play, you just look for a play, so you don't have to think of which song to do next. You just see, I go, if I want to hear really heavy Metallica, I'll think of the songs and I choose those specifically.
Yeah, but you put all your songs in? Is that what you're doing?
No, I just I do it randomly, or I just pick the next thing. I don't like listen to hours and hours and hours of, if I'm in the car, I'll just pick the next song. Hey, play this. Hey, play that.
I'm glad you brought this up. Have you done Android CarPlay yet? Have you plugged in your phone yet to try it?
Cord.
Since 3 weeks ago, you still haven't?
I haven't gotten the cord. I gotta get the little cord thingy.
Oh my god! Okay.
Why can't it be wireless?
Well, it is on the new fancier cars, but hold on, just showing my legs for Brian there. I had a request in the chat. There you go, big dog. You don't even have to sign up to my OnlyFans. Oh, was there a not at the end?
There's a not in big capital letters.
I don't read all the way to the end of the comments. You guys know that. Oh, look at this. See, Robin feels my pain. I know how Anthony feels. I grew up listening to John Prine, and that's not on any of my friends' radar. Dude, it's a lonely, scary place to be when your friends hate your preferred music. Hate. Like I like Metallica. And Frank loves Metallica, and I will listen to Metallica for Frank. None of my friends.
Metallica's good.
None of my friends will come over to Dave Matthews Land.
There are a few songs that I could listen to and not throw a tantrum.
You're welcome, buddy. And Ant never fails to deliver. I appreciate that. Thank you. More leg shots, by the way, in the members only area. I put something else up there too. Oh, no, we won't talk about that. Here's a question I do. We're going to be all over the place. It's going to be a fun episode. Do you
about time?
Somebody sent me. I talked about this. Somebody sent me the picture of the shooter dead on the roof, and then somebody said, "Can you post that?" And I don't think I can, but I think I could put it in the members area. Do you want to see that, or
I don't.
I don't think people
But
really want to see this. It's not, but I
is
will
it
put it
is
up
it
there.
out there, or is this? I mean, it's got to be out there if people want to see it.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I don't. I'm good.
Okay. I feel like it's hard to find, but if you're a member and you want to see it in the members only area, just tell me. If I'll go with majority rules. If majority says yes, I'll put it. If majority says no, I won't put it up there. Let's get over to this Kamala Harris fact. I find this fascinating. There's a story out right now that says that Obama is pissed off because he doesn't believe that Kamala can win, and that's why he hasn't endorsed her. But again, I feel like he didn't endorse Joe Biden for president until he won the nomination in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he likes to wait. But supposedly there was a source close to the Biden family, a Biden family source, it's being described as, that spoke to a couple of outlets and said that the reason why he hasn't come out is because he's pissed off at what's happened and he doesn't think that she can win. And let's play, that's the truth. Let's play, we're going to believe this, we're going to choose to believe this for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then this mutiny or coup or whatever you want to say against Joe Biden didn't include Obama and was just primarily Pelosi, Schumer, and the Clintons.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be a chasm. What's the word? Skillidatism.
Sure.
In the Democratic Party between all the elder states people. But I don't think it's true. I honestly think that Obama, and I think you'll see his endorsement of her when she officially becomes the nominee.
I could see that.
Which, by the way, I mean, she has all but locked it up already because she raised what, almost $100 million in the first day.
And everybody's coming out to, hey, go Kamala. Everybody's endorsing her. I don't see anybody endorsing anybody else, really.
Yeah, nobody else. I mean, we've seen a couple of flare-ups from Mark Kelly, Gabby Gifford's hubby.
I've heard the name, but I haven't heard anybody go, not Kamala, Mark Kelly. It's like, what? Nobody said that.
I feel like there's little rumblings, but nothing. Like, it's been mostly her. She's dominating. I don't think. You know, I don't think it's not going to be her. I think Kelly's got a chance at the VP vice presidency. I do think it has to be Josh Shapiro. I think, did we talk about this last episode?
I think we may have.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it. It's got to be Josh Shapiro. The guy's stellar. He's the Pennsylvania governor. She needs Pennsylvania to win.
Yeah. So
I mean, end of story.
What's helping Kamala?
Okay, so this little fact is what's helping Kamala. Let's first recognize Brian. Member, 27 months. Just slightly outshined by Robin, who's been a member for 28 months. Oh my goodness!
Holy cow!
This is a big episode, big anniversary celebrations.
Fellas.
Yeah, Christine says she's heard the war between the Obamas and the Clintons. I think it's because Obama likes of-aged girls and didn't have a friendship with Epstein. That might be the start of that split right there.
That could be.
All right, so listen to this fact, and this has been circulating around. David Plouffe, who ran Obama's campaign, has joined the Kamala Harris campaign. He was the guy who basically zeroed in on Twitter and was like, this is the new way presidents are going to run for office. And he was the one who started to get the fundraising out there and started picking up $5 here and $10 there. If you remember, Obama was like the king. He was the first one to really start cashing in on the small donations, which became a story unto itself because it was no longer, oh, the special interest group is donating $10 million. Now it was more, this is who the people want. The people are taking their hard-earned money and they're giving $5, $10, $15, $20 at a time. That started with Obama in the 2008 election and his fundraising efforts on Twitter back in the day. So David Plouffe is joined the campaign. So that's interesting part one. Interesting part two. The baby boomers. Now, these are the folks who were born from 1946 to 1964. Our parents fall into this group. Since Donald Trump was elected in 2016, 20.2 million baby boomers have died. 20.2 million baby boomers have died since 2016. Since the 2016 election, 41 million Gen Zers have come of age for voting. Okay.
Okay.
Of that 41 million, 8 million have come of age to vote since the midterms in 2022. Of that 8 million, 63% of that 8 million who have now been able to vote since the 2022 election are Democrats, are registered Democrats.
Nice.
So if you look at 8 million of 41 is 63, there's 63% of them are Democrat. You would assume that that's 8 million is a pretty decent sample size.
Right.
So if you want to say it's even a little less, you want to shave a couple of points off of that. Let's say for argument's sake, 55% of the 41 million Gen Zers are Democrats. That's an interesting little fact in her favor, that she's got a chance here, because you have to think, although the Democrats tend to be more friendly when it comes to Medicare, Medicaid, and elder care issues. So a huge chunk of that 20.2 million could have been Democrats. At the same time, most older people do tend to be conservative, especially the ones of greater wealth. So it'll be interesting to see as we start to get polls together here, with 20.2 million baby boomers dying and 41 million Gen Zers coming of age to vote, what that will do to tip the scales in either direction for these candidates. But again, of the 8 million since 2022, we know that 8 million of those Gen Zers, 63% of them are Democrats. So it's pretty interesting. And again, you have to think of it like a class, right? You have a graduating class or an incoming class. This incoming class has known the threat of Roe v. Wade, right? And the Supreme Court justices and all those decisions that are going in that direction, that flack that's going to come back in the other way is going to be in the form of people who are going to vote Democrat. So she's got an interesting shot, a little edge, I think, when you look at some of those statistics. Now, the first poll that came out, I believe, was from Newsweek. Not a big poll, very quick after the announcement that President Biden was leaving. But Kamala Harris, I think, topped former President Trump, by 4 points. So just slightly over the margin, but that's 4 points in the national poll. So that doesn't take into account swing states, which is really what we're going to be looking at to determine who's going to win the presidency here. But the fact that she's sprung ahead, which you're expecting somewhat of a boost in the early polls for her. She's the new kid on the block, right? People are going to get a little excited over it. Same way they were gonna swing in his direction post assassination attempt. She's answered the call with beating him in the national poll. Again, means nothing when it comes down to it, but it's just going to show there was a lot of doubt in her candidacy prior to him leaving. I mean, I think I even speculated, she can't beat him in the polls. Why would he step aside? But as we're starting to see here, no, she might have more juice in all of this than he does, than President Biden does.
Yeah, I could see that. She's going to appeal to the younger crowd, I think. And there's been I feel like there's a surge in the party, since because she's doing these speeches, she's out there, she's all of a sudden at the front of it. So I feel like she really take this thing by the horns and run with it. It's gonna be interesting. I'd love to see the debate between her. Let's see her up against him.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because Fox News has invited Donald Trump and Kamala Harris to that September 17th debate in Pennsylvania. And we're waiting on word on whether or not that's going to go down. Now, they both said they've been open to the debate, but they have to actually, they're both parties have to sit down and reach an agreement for it. I keep reading stories that he's pissed off that it's her and everything. Oh, I'll tell you what, though, the memes are hysterical of all the people who spent all this money on, Joe Biden's an idiot or fuck, let's go Brandon, all that stuff, and now they can't use it.
That's all done.
Their little street fairs, those memes have been pretty hilarious. But I think I think they're going to debate. I think it would be advantageous for everybody if they did more than one. Would be nice.
That would be good.
There's certainly some time for it. They do one in September. They do another one in October. You sneak a little vice president one in between there if you really want to. I mean, that doesn't really matter much to me, the VPs. But I think it would be good.
There's another fly.
Unless there's another fly that's going to be
there. That made it interesting.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it was interesting.
Now, Christine says, Aunt, most adults, they don't pay attention to politics, most young adults. Bird says, most young adults are disenchanted and don't believe in the system. Can't blame them. And Christella makes a great point. Young people have seen major changes in their short little lives. That's the truth.
It's true.
Yeah, they really have.
A lot going on. And, I used to not be interested in politics. I don't think it's I don't know if it was my age, that it was basically what happened. The only thing I'll credit Trump with is he focused my attention on politics. I wouldn't have cared if, I wouldn't really, not that I wouldn't have cared, but I wouldn't have paid so much attention had he not been. I mean, I guess that's a bad thing in terms of he brought negative attention. He made it so negative that I had to pay attention.
Mm.
That's how I got into it, because I'm like, I gotta watch what happens here because this is nuts.
Yeah. I just think, it's the truth. He definitely made a lot of people pay attention, but I think usually I feel like younger people lean more liberal and democratic. And then they start to notice the amount of money missing from their paychecks at some point. And then they go, hold on a second, we got maybe I'm going to start voting a little bit more Republican to keep the money in my paycheck a bit more. I think that's sort of the natural evolution of people. They start out liberal and they kind of move over to conservatism, perhaps not everybody, but I will say the reason why I believe a lot of the younger people are going to be even more so Democrat is, again, to Christella's point here, they've seen major changes in their short lives. If you think about what's the age to vote, 18, right? 18 to vote.
So, yeah.
All right. So if you're now of age to vote, let's say from 2022 on, or last year or this year, you were 14, 15, 16, right, through the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you saw the Republican president, probably the first one of your consciousness, really get voted out because of the way he handled the pandemic. And then you saw January 6th, and then you saw Roe v. Wade, and the only real shit you saw from the Democrats was a really old man shitting himself on stage and inflation. I don't know if there's, and yes, the border, but I don't think young people would notice that as much. I think that's more older people kind of realize what the implications are of illegal immigration more so than young people. So I think there's more negativity coming from the Republican Party for younger people. And for people that are just experiencing all of this for the first time, than older people. Like if you look at Frank and I's generation, like we were the generation of the Iraq War, right? So we grew up, we were little. The first couple of things that we started to notice and were conscious of as little kids was the first Iraq War. Mm-hmm. And then when Bush 2 came around, our friends started to go into the army and go over and serve, So, we've had a couple of a lot of people from our high school went over and served in Iraq. And so I think that was the first big, and then when there were no weapons of mass destruction, I think that was the first big, again, counter flack, whatever you want to call it, of people voting for Democrats for a number of years after that. And that's when you get Obama, and you do get a Democratic Congress during his administration. And then what happens? The tide swings back, eventually the other way, as it always tends to do. But I think we're in that moment now where we've seen these things the last couple of years from Republicans, And that's why a lot of these young people are going to be even more so than usual on the Democratic side of things. So, but I think those numbers are interesting, and I think they are going to play a factor. And where was Brian here? He made a good point, which I think is going to become a campaign phrase for Kamala Harris, because she said this the other day, and it seems to be catching some fire here. We ain't going back, you know.
I love that. You know, if we're not, that's the whole thing. I feel like you think Republican, it's just such a, everything you think about, like coal. It's like, all right, oil. I mean, I get it, but can we move forward, please? And more, everybody's telling me to embrace technology. There was someone to mention it in the chat as a joke because of the car thing before. But if we're going to move forward and embrace technology, I think we need to move forward as a country and as a in the world, and get away from antiquated, you know, forms of energy. I don't know.
Well, I think you need to put your money where your mouth is and get that cord and plug it into the old car there.
I gotta get the cord.
You can't talk about this shit until you join the 22nd century, 21st century.
On an iPad, does that count?
Thank you, Cuddles. No.
All right.
Maybe. You sure it's not a Kindle?
It's definitely not a Kindle. It's an iPad.
Oh, okay. All right. You sure it's not one of those things that they used to count, the Arabicus? You sure it's not a...
What did you call it?
Arabic?
Okay.
Arabicus?
Louder.
What was it? What do you call it? Arabic?
Yeah, no.
Abacus? Abacus. I got it. I got it just at the... Did you know? Just before you said it. I got it. I got abacus. Arabicus.
Just Arabicus. Here it is.
It's the next shirt. Arabicus. Arabicus Maximus. It was the early caveman.
It's the Latin. That's how you say it in Latin.
Oh, shit. Elon Musk. I actually found this somewhat touching a little.
Okay. What happened?
I don't know if sympathize, I think is the right word here. Sympathize.
Did you go through what he went through?
Who, Elon?
Yeah. If you're sympathizing, if you know how he feels because you experience the same thing, then you're empathizing.
Got it.
But if you just you just understand how he feels, but you didn't actually have something similar happen, then you're sympathizing.
I'm not sure what I'm doing with him, but because okay, let's start. Let's go through order. Do you want to start with my personal issue with Elon, or
I never
Elon
want to
and
hear
the
your personal
Republicans, or Elon and the Republicans? What do you want to do first?
Elon and the Republicans. What do you got?
I got a top that's not screwed on. That's what I got.
Oh, God.
I got a shirt full of water. Can you see this?
Now I can. Yeah.
Okay. What did you say? The Republicans?
Leg hair. Sure.
All right. The Republicans. There was a big story. Even Trump said it on stage. He's going to give me $45 million a month. You know, we got to keep Elon happy. Did you see that?
I did.
The idea
He's just taking bribes out in the open now. That's fine.
Yeah, the idea that Elon is going to donate $45 million to this guy a month, and he's on a campaign stump speech going, "We got to make Elon's life good. He's got to, he's our tech guy.
We got to kiss his ass now." It's like, that's not how donations work. You don't do favors for people because they gave you money.
I mean, we all know that's how it works, but I've never quite seen the outright
but you don't
blatancy. Yeah. Yeah. So we got to treat him good. He's, he's part of the tech team,
we'll do whatever he wants now. He gave us he's promising 45 million.
Yeah. But as it turns out, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Elon has opened up a recurring gift. Now he's donated, I think, 4 or 5 million to Trump's campaign directly.
That's like $1 for us.
It's not a considerable amount, but he's decided to give money to a PAC, which can donate to, call it, political causes. So he's going to give money to a PAC, but he hasn't clarified on exactly how much that's going to be. Would you like to know who runs the PAC?
Sure.
Elon Musk. So essentially, he's giving himself his own money to put into whatever thing he wants to put it into.
Nothing shady going on there.
Which I guess could be quite strange, and I don't really know how it'll.
It happened to one of my
What
the hell was that?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was still on the airways.
No, I don't know if it's. I mean, it's his money. He could donate it to wherever.
He could, but he really walked it back. I mean, if he was going to give it all to the Trump campaign or the Republicans, then there's no reason to walk it back. But he was like, let me clarify. He said to Forbes, let me clarify. That money is not I'm not giving Donald Trump $45 million a month till the end of the election.
Right.
So that's not happening. I don't know where that story came from.
All right. Yeah,
but it got to the point
Trump,
where, it got to the point where Trump was saying it on stage. So he thought it was happening. And in actuality, it was not.
Either that or Trump just made it up because he's batshit.
Quite possible.
Didn't really check on him because he's getting up there in age. I think he's now going to be the oldest candidate.
He is the oldest.
If he's elected, he'll be the oldest president ever.
So Elon was on the Daily Wire. So the clip we're going to play for you here is from the Daily Wire. This is newsworthy.
Okay.
He's talking to, I forget, Jordan something. Fuck is his name? You'll see it when he's on there. People don't like him either, but he's not a bad dude. I just don't agree with everything he says. And he starts to talk about transgender people and the puberty blockers, which I worry about a little bit. Like I have no issue with transgender people, Frank. You know that. Very gay rights friendly, very transgender friendly. I have no problem with any of it. Right. I think we need to figure out the sports part of it because I think you are marginalizing biologically born women, if you want to call them that, because they're kind of getting pushed aside a little bit in certain areas. Yeah, so you want to be fair to everybody. They got to figure that out.
I understand, but I don't think Elon Musk should be the guy we need to get the opinion from.
Well, take a listen to this because I bet you didn't know this because I didn't know this about Elon. So let's take a listen to the clip. Jordan Peterson, is that his name?
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset.
Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
That's
so I was tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
There it is.
So and we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah.
So I guess whatever the situation was between his son and whatever was going on with his son, and somebody, doctors or whomever, said he needs puberty blockers, and so he gave it to him, and then I'm guessing that didn't help necessarily, or didn't satisfy whatever needs or help that Elon thought he was going to get, and then maybe the struggles continued, or what did he call it? A dead name?
Yeah,
whatever he said.
No, it's
And-
terrible that happened to his son. No, nobody should have to go through that. That's awful.
But that explains a lot. Then you hear him say, "That's why I vow the woke mind virus to vengeance on it to get it back." And and he's like, "We're making so that's where all this shit is coming from. This personal experience that happened with his son, whatever that was. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, no, but I get his anger and I get his frustration. It's terrible, awful. There are unfortunately there are people who go through issues in their own lives that can't figure out what's going on, and it just controls them. Yeah, it's terrible, but I know.
Well, because think about this, right? You went through puberty. I'm hoping to go through it
I
soon.
think so. Well, your legs say that you did.
Puberty for straight kids who know who they are and who are going to grow up and are attracted to the opposite sex and get married and have kids and live the quote unquote normal life. Puberty for those people is difficult and
Right.
challenging and hard enough. Now you're grappling with, I'm in the wrong body, or I'm attracted to not what everybody else is attracted to, or I'm attracted to bi, whatever, as you start to add all those layers of challenges onto it. And by
Right.
challenges, I mean differences from quote unquote normalcy.
Yeah,
And it's more difficult. It's harder to go through.
Yeah, I can't presume to weigh in on Elon Musk and his child. I don't know exactly what they went through and what his child was going through, and I can't say everything. I don't know the whole situation, and I don't know them, so I'm not going to be like they should have done this or they should have done that or whatever it is. But what I can, I guess, say would be that I think the more care that's provided for people going through that kind of a situation, just the more care made available, I think is going to help. Imagine someone going through something like this and having nobody to go to, and being like, well, I am who I am and I can't figure it out, but there's no one to help me. And I can't go to a doctor and I can't go to my parents. I feel like that's dangerous as well, right? I mean, that's something that
Probably it's a suicide 9 times out of 10. I have nobody to talk to.
I have nobody to go to. I'm struggling with this on my own. I feel like the more help, the better. There's more options, the better. What happened to Elon Musk's child is absolutely terrible, and no one should have to go through that. So that is awful. But again, I don't know the situation. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, no, we don't
person
know.
was going through, and
But we talk
what
about
the
this all
conversations were.
we talk about this all the time, that it's difficult because it's a difficult age to go through it. You're figuring out who you are.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, you can make that argument that you're probably figuring that out from around 10 or 11 to 25.
So whenever, it's different, I'm sure, for everyone.
I mean, even though puberty is whatever 13 to set or whatever it is, it's different for everybody.
Whatever it is.
Even after you're done with puberty, you're still figuring out who you are as a person.
Yeah.
It's tough to let somebody in that age group make a decision for themselves that's going to impact the rest of their lives. And for some, it's probably clear as day. And for others, it's probably on the fence. And as a parent, the difference between the two, unrecognizable. You can't really tell. I bet you can't. Like, if there are some people that want to go from a boy to a girl and a girl to a boy, and they're sure of it, and they switch, and they're probably, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to them. They go on to live the happiest moment of and they feel comfortable in their skin for the first time, and it's great and it's wonderful.
Now imagine,
but the difference between that and somebody who's not really sure, but they think it's it, and they tell their parents this is it,
Well,
And
this
then
is,
it turns out 2 years later, holy shit, it wasn't it. They were just kind of going through it and they
well,
weren't
that's
ready.
why.
That's
That's why
tragic.
more, I guess, more resources and more help and more conversations between the person, their parents, and their doctors need to happen. Imagine a world where there's zero conversation, where that person can't go to anybody. Is just
Yeah.
they have. So there's two situations. Either there's a person who has this situation going on within themselves, and they can go to their parents and they can go to their doctors and they can figure it out with other people and see what the right course is for them. The other side of the coin is they have this situation inside themselves that they don't know what's going on, but they can't talk about it to anybody, and they're not allowed to bring it up, and there's no doctor that will help them. Their parents don't want to help them. Now this person's on their own and by themselves.
Miserable.
I feel like every time, the more help, the better.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think the point that I'm trying to make here is you really can't legislate this.
no,
it's
it can't
an
be
individual-
a politician who doesn't
Yeah.
know. They don't know
Yeah.
what someone's going through. You can't make there should be more medical freedom in the country. You can't have some politician who knows little to nothing about genders, about gender reassignment, and about anything like that. Just go, nope, can't do it. I feel like you're taking away people's choices and people's options, as opposed to Jon Stewart. Do you ever see the Jon Stewart talking to I forget the woman's name? There's a legislator from
Yeah, he tore her apart, right?
tore her apart. I mean, it's like you're not, the woman was like, oh, it should be something discuss, and he's like, well, you're deciding that for them. You're making the choice. You're not letting them make the choice. You're not letting the parents or the doctors, or you're not having them get second or third opinions. You're giving them one option, that they can't do this. That's your, and they're like, she couldn't come up with any studies that were done or anything like that. And please look it up if you're interested in this. Look it up. Jon Stewart about trans. We're talking about trans issues. It's maybe like 8 or 9 minutes. The problem with Jon Stewart, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, I mean, it makes sense. They should have the right to talk. It's not, he's like, you're making it sound like a child is walking into a doctor's office and saying, make me a different, the other opposite sex or a different sex. And that's not what's happening. It's a parent, the child, the medical professional. It's conversations, and it's not just done on a whim. It's procedures and long talks, and it's not just, what do you want to be today? It's not that.
No, and the same
I
way,
understand.
the same way, it's hard to identify the kid who's really making the right choices. It's hard to identify the kid who wants to at least explore it and is dealing with a parent who wants no part of it, and then you have them being alone. To your point,
Yeah,
but
I mean, alone is not the way to handle a complicated situation.
Yeah, no, alone is not good. But the thing is, the same way you can't legislate these things, I feel like Elon is taking out this issue that happened in his own personal life, which happens. Like I said, if you have a kid going through this, you could wind up getting it wrong. The child could wind up getting it wrong. It happens all the time. We hear about people who go through it and then they regret it, or they start the process and they stop it. They inevitably want to go back. Like, those things are going to happen no matter how sure of it you are. Like, it's the same thing. You could equate it to getting a tattoo. It's like 14-year-olds. I don't know if we should be able to let them get tattoos.
But that's the parents can sign off and say, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it's not like a 14-year-old could walk into a tattoo shop and say, yeah, make it happen.
Well, that's not. Yeah, that's
because
that's
it's like,
why
well,
the parents get involved.
Right.
The same people that go, well, I'm not vaccinating my kid. it's my child. It's so the government doesn't have the right to mandate a vaccine on me. Those same people are now saying, yeah, the government can tell me and my kid not to do, to explore trans care. It's like, well, either you have the government telling you what to do or not. You want them to. You're okay with them telling you that you can't have medical care for your kid, but you're not okay with them saying you got to get the vaccine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But at the same time, this kid who's made a choice or something happened here, between Elon, whatever happened between Elon and this kid and whoever, and he was told things and maybe he didn't understand it all the way or wasn't told the full truth, whatever happened here, it doesn't mean that there's this. And listen, I understand there is a crazy left. They're there. They're out there. I mean, if it were up to them, they would be doing this shit to 6-year-olds and stuff like that. It's a little crazy. We've seen crazy out there. It exists. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It exists. It's out there, and it's worrisome, and it's not good, and it's as bad as the crazy right. It's there. But you can't just treat everybody that. I feel like he's putting this doctor or this situation on the whole world. And now he's going to take it out on the whole world because something unfortunate happened in his personal life. Now, I can make the argument, and you might call me crazy, and or say this is out of bounds or not fair or not right, and I'll take it. That's fine. But from what I can see, and I don't know this personally, but from what I can see, Elon Musk is a pretty shitty father. Okay? And I say that because the guy works all the time. The guy has multiple children from multiple different women. They don't all live in the same place. He himself has gone from California to Texas and Texas to, we did the story that he was living in a small home for a little while, like by himself. He's not like a come home from work after 5 o'clock and play catch in the yard with the kids. Or build a do geometry, whatever the fuck. It doesn't have to be, masculine like baseball sport, but just spend time with your child, not just on the weekends, not just every other weekend. Not to say that this is the particular case, but I'm sorry, you're open for criticism when you behave the way you behave, and then your child is going through something and you were told this and it wasn't that. Like, every little fart and fucking thing that's happened to our kids, we have become experts on. And Cuddles more so than me. Like, that woman just reads up on everything. Like, there is just no way somebody can come to you and say, we think you need puberty blockers, and him just go, okay, what is it? Oh, okay. Like, there's no fucking way. If you were really and truly involved in your child's life, you would know every last thing about what they're talking about. You would go out and get that second and third opinion if you had to. The guy has more money than anything else. He can get 50 doctors in a room to give him a consensus opinion if he wants to. And the fact that, again, we've seen his work schedule, we've heard him talk about these things in interviews about what he does. I mean, we've seen him go to music festivals and conferences and shit, and you never see his kids. Or sometimes you see him carrying the kids around and shit like that, but he's got like 12 fucking kids, 7 different moms, whatever it is. Like, I'm sorry, maybe you need to be a little bit of a better father. Like, less taking it out on the world for being progressive or quote unquote woke, and maybe a little bit more looking at that fucking mirror and think about what you did. Because that's the height of absentee father.
Yeah. This
happened with my family. I'm going to go out and take it out on the world. It's like, no, put that energy back into your family and you might have a better result.
Yeah. I mean, you made decisions, it's terrible. Again, it's an awful thing what happened. But, I don't know. He seems to want to blame he's taking it out. You're right. What you said, ego. He's taking it out on everything else.
Linderella nailed it. Ego. Can't be me. Must be the woke mind virus. Like, Come on, man. And Christella says, how can children make life-changing decisions? Again, I hope I put that out there enough that it's a
No,
difficult,
this is not-
no,
this is
but
not children making decisions.
yeah, but it is a difficult that you do find 10, 11, and 12-year-olds trying to make calls on the rest of their lives. It's
Yeah,
that's
but
that's not easy to do.
That's not what's happening though. It's they have to get. I mean, it's the parents are involved. It's not like the kid wakes up, leaves the house, goes down to the doctor and says, "Make me a different."
No,
size."
that's not. But if the kid is constantly having conversations, because listen, here's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but then you should know if you're the parent. You know, all right, this kid, this is not just a you woke up one day, you heard your friends talking about it, you saw it on TV.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
You know that what's going on with your kid.
That's not what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I believe these children at whatever age, from 12 to 19, I believe these children really feel a certain way and they really truly believe they're going through something. I believe that a biological male can wake up every morning and go, fuck, I just wish I was a woman. I would, when I put on a dress, I feel more comfortable. When I go to the ladies' room, I feel more comfortable. When I wear makeup, I truly in my heart believe that they believe that and they know that and they feel that. What I'm saying is the same way you want to be a certain thing when you grow up and that changes 19 times, or you pick a major in college and that changes 4 times. I think you change over the course of your lifetime and you can't help it.
But I think,
look at Wayne Brady, right?
It's not, I don't think, we don't know because we're not going through any of that. But I think maybe for the people that do go through it, I think there's like, it's not a whim. It's
not. I'm not saying it's a whim.
And I know what's going on with me, and this is how I feel. And it's not. I didn't feel like this yesterday, but I do feel it today.
100%. But I believe that people can go through I think you can go through 4 or 5 years of your life feeling a certain way, feeling like I know this is it for me. And then either it happens or it doesn't, is insignificant. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you go, oh no, that's not it for me anymore. Now it's this other thing. Now I feel like it's this other thing that I have to do, or this other way. I don't feel comfortable like that anymore. I feel comfortable like this now all of a sudden. I think we change over the course of our lifetime, whether we're talking about sexuality, religion, I feel like change is a part of life. But the problem is when you take puberty blockers or you cut off your penis or whatever happens, and then you can't get that moment back. I think that's when because we know people go through regret. I'm not saying everybody. Like I said, some people go through it and it's the best thing that ever happened to them. And that's like, thank God that happened. Thank God it all worked out for you. It's not necessarily the case for everybody. I brought up Wayne Brady. You've seen Wayne Brady?
Yeah.
He went through all his life thinking he was straight. And now he didn't call it pansexual.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I don't know, but yeah, but what I'm saying is why it's either, so you don't know when all this is going to happen. So why restrict the amount of care and access to care that people shouldn't? So, that's the point. Then there shouldn't be, we don't know when this is happening. Yeah. Which begs the question, why isn't there more healthcare professionals, read up and studied up on this? This should be something that's, more widely accepted because it's a reality. This is what it is. And you'd start taking away doctors and making it harder for people to get health care for that situation. That then you're just limiting people's choices and you're limiting people's ability to explore if that's right for them.
And you shouldn't be limiting that. I agree with you 100%. But don't you also agree or think that there is actually, it's not the case most of the times, but there is actually such a thing as too much support?
Too much support.
Yeah, because I feel like there should be scrutiny in that situation. I don't know. This is me. Even everything in my life,
There
I
should
will
be-
scrutinize it, being like, is this really the right move here?
There-
Should I be doing this?
Well, that's where the doctors and come and
Right.
other people come in and say, well, here's what's going to happen, and this is what you'll experience physically. This is what you might experience. I'm not just saying medical. There should be, you might, the hormones might do this or do that. Maybe you just your physical body is going to change. This can be reversed. This can't be. You'll go through all the. This is a checklist of everything that's going to happen to you. Let's talk about each one.
Because it does. You acknowledge it does exist too much support. Like, for instance, this is a much easier example. But when a kid comes to you and you go, "Oh, I want to be an English major in college," like,
Yeah.
you're not going to tell that kid, like, "All right, okay, but maybe we should look at what's that minor going to be, because we should give I'm going to be it's like a communications. If my kid came to me and go, I'm going to be a communications major, I'm going to be like, great. You can be a communications minor if you want. What's that
Well,
major going to be?
No, I think I don't have kids, so I people, I can't.
But there is such a thing as you can't coddle it and agree with it so much.
No,
you
no,
have
no.
to present
But
all the sides for it. For
Not
them
being
to
a
make
parent, would you agree that this may be if the kid, how old is this kid that you're talking about? Is this kid close to I could take this as like next year is going to be where I choose my major or whatever? I mean, in that case, you go, well, is that going to make you happy? Think about here's what that means. Here's what your options are. Instead of saying, no, pick something else, say, okay, here's what that looks like. This is
that's what I would
your
do.
options
Yeah.
are going to be. Not, pick
I'm
something
being
different.
facetious about pick something. Yeah, but it's the truth. But if my kid came to me and said, I want to transition, I'd feel better about that at 19 versus 14.
Well, I think, yeah, but you would not ignore it, and you would
No.
not say
No,
hide
of
that.
course not.
You wouldn't say we can't talk about that. Yeah,
Quiet.
no. As a father and a human, you would say, okay, let's talk about it. Do you and if it becomes an ongoing
of
thing,
course.
then you bring it. All right,
Well,
let's talk
that's how we got Jeffrey Dahmer, right? Remember?
No,
Jeffrey Dahmer, I mean, according to the series,
I didn't see this.
which was based on the book, he went to go tell his dad he was gay one day, and his dad was like, "All right, let's order hot dog." Like he ignored him at the diner. I was like, "Let's just order," and then he went
Yikes.
and killed everybody because he was, he couldn't deal with it.
So everybody is different in the world. Everybody's going to react to different things. So I think limiting the amount of healthcare is not the answer.
I couldn't agree with you more. You cannot limit.
No, the more healthcare, the more opinions, the more access to medical technology and treatment and whatever, that's only going to make things better.
But you agree that he should have done that work. He should have done that due diligence.
Of
He
course.
sh-
Well, I don't know. Again, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he went through with his doctors, with his child. I don't know. All I know is literally what you showed in the clip. So, how long was this going on for? How many doctors did they see? What was the child's issue? Like, was there any kind of, I don't know. How close to his child is Elon? How many times did they go to the doctor? I don't know I don't even know how old his child was at the time that this happened. So I literally don't know the details about this. So I don't know what he did right or wrong, or if I'm even the person. It's not even my call. I wouldn't be able to tell Elon you did the wrong thing, or the doctor you did, because it's not up to me. It shouldn't be up to a politician either.
Agreed.
It should be up to the people involved.
And I'm speculating too on Elon, but I'm speculating from a point of, I know I've heard him give interviews. I've seen a lot of, like, I'm sure he spends more time with his children than I think, but I still don't think it's enough, knowing how much time he spends at SpaceX and Tesla and the Boring Company and on Twitter and all these things that he's doing. I just don't see him giving that support to those kids at the amount of kids he has. I mean, let's be honest. If you have 8 kids, you can still be a great father, but you can't be as involved as a person who has 3 kids. It's impossible. There's not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
So Elon, so just by that equation alone, I can tell Elon is not doing what he should be doing.
He doesn't even does he have to work another day in his life?
No.
Probably not.
No.
So stop and spend time with your family.
Right? What father wouldn't give up everything with all that money in the bank
Just retire.
to
Stop
spend
doing
every last waking moment with that child and walk that child through whatever issue they're having? Could you imagine if your family?
In no way are we blaming anybody for what happened either.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you had billions in the bank, and your
I
niece
would
or
work
your,
another day in my life, and I would
Right?
spend yeah.
I'd be like, guess what? I got to take some time off until this person in my life is totally okay.
Yeah.
Now, most people don't get that comfort. They have to go to work.
Have to work.
They have to do this or that, or they have to care for an elder person. They have to care for a younger child. There's 2 more kids they have to care. Whatever their situation, they don't have that convenience or that choice. He had it. And I'm sorry, but he blew it. I can't just sit here idly by and act like Elon is it's unfortunate what happened to him. But again, like we said, have that ego and take it out on the rest of the world when it's probably a lot that he should be dealing with internally.
Yeah.
I can't not point that out.
I don't know.
Veep.
It's just weird. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Wrap it up.
No, I was just gonna say the same side that says I make the medical choices for my kid. I'm choosing not to vaccinate my kid. Same side that says that is also saying, well, I don't think I think the government should regulate all this. It's like, well, either you're making the decisions for your child or you're not. I don't know. Am I wrong there?
No, but this also makes me think like how I feel like, and I think I was scraping this point with Portnoy on the last podcast, how many people that are supporting Republicans right now or supporting Donald Trump truly support what they're doing versus are so annoyed with the crazy woke left, like the crazy left, the craziest crazy part of the left, that they're just rebelling against them and going in the other direction. And then when you get like, if I asked Elon Musk, who spent his life in Silicon Valley, I would bet you he lines up more with liberal ideology on every single. If you took transgender out of this equation and just asked about abortion and Medicare and Social Security, like you just start asking about these issues, I bet you he lines up more left than right on a majority of them. He's just annoyed at the 10% all the way on the left. And I feel like a lot of that is happening now with a lot of people. The same exact way when Bush was in office and the crazy religious right after Titty Bowl there, what was her name? Janet Jackson, right? Remember all of that and the FCC fines that came down on radio people and the stringency that was going on with parental advisories and all this crazy stuff, how everybody was so annoyed at the crazy right that they just went left and eventually led to Obama. Like, I think it's the same thing. We're just seeing it in the reverse right now. That's just my opinion.
All right.
Veep,
getting a boom.
This is so interesting. So JD Vance gets nominated for VP.
Yeah.
And the film that Ron Howard made based off of his book shoots to #1 on Netflix instantly. It had been on Netflix for a while with not the greatest reviews from what I understand. Like, I don't think it did well on Rotten Tomatoes, but shot to #1. Obviously, a lot of people are curious about it. Now that Joe Biden pulls out of the race and Kamala Harris goes in, I mean, that's essentially the storyline of Veep. Veep on Max has seen an increase of 353% in streaming since Joe Biden pulled out of the race.
It's pretty good. Well, that's a weird number because it's not a weird number. I mean, like, all right, so if 20 people streamed Veep, now, what is that? That's 303%. Is that what you said?
353%.
353%. That's like 90 now 90 people streamed it.
Yep,
Like that.
could be.
Or is that right? 20, 40, 60. Yeah, I think so.
It's probably in the thousands. I don't think it's in the millions. I'm not sure if it's in the tens of thousands.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual numbers are. Percentage wise, it could be a low number, a high number, but percentage, it's jumped a big percent.
Yeah, but it's
Veep
crazy.
is very popular, so I'm sure it's in the thousands.
You think it's very popular? I think it was popular, but
It was popular, but yeah, now I'm sure people are still watching it, but I don't know. Before this whole thing with Kamala happened, I'm sure there was a huge lull. I mean, if you go into HBO, not much else new. Game of Thrones stuff, but that's about it.
Flying White wants to know what is Veep. So Veep is a show about a vice president, played by the great Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld and SNL and all that. And she,
what, 6 years, something like that? I don't
Yeah.
even remember how many seasons.
yeah, she plays a vice president who the show starts. She's the vice president, and she's always being ignored by the president. She's not included in anything. And then, spoiler alert, and I forget when this happens in the series, but at some point, the president decides he's not going to run for re-election, and she gets that. In fact, this scene where she finds out and tells everybody is nearly identical to what actually happened in real life.
Yeah, and it's a comedy. Anybody, there's a lot of people in it, guest stars and all this stuff, and it's basically every episode is a day in the life of the Veep, the vice president.
Yeah,
she travels to different location, speeches and whatever she's got to do, and it's the inner workings of like what happens in behind the scenes kind of stuff. It's good.
Now we know how much Robin knows humor. Robin says Veep is worth watching, and I concur wholeheartedly. Like, you've seen Veep?
I have seen Veep.
The whole series, or just like episodes here and there?
I've seen the whole series. I feel like maybe the last season I kind of bits and pieces, but I feel like I've seen most of it. Yeah.
So my theory is, and this is how I feel about it, they're not entirely related, but sort of in the universe. You had Seinfeld, right? And then I felt like Curb took it to another level, and another level because I feel like it was funnier, but it was also a bit dirtier. They were able to go into areas that Seinfeld couldn't.
Right.
And then you have Veep, which is way dirtier and way more like.
Oh my God. Yeah. Veep is the language. Like it's the worst things you can say.
Yeah.
It's every curse word you could think of in every form. It's very, the insults are just so deep. It's insane. Like, it's the worst. If you're against foul language and the worst kind of language, this is not your show. It's the worst language you've ever heard.
Horrible. The worst insults and slams.
She said it's very mean and very
horrible and mean.
Yeah, just very mean-spirited. Just the way they talk about each other and to each other. It's very. I don't know. It's very
hilarious. It's cutthroat.
Funny. Yeah, funny.
Hilarious.
But holy crap, there are some characters on there that all they say is the worst stuff. You know who I'm talking about, right? The bald guy.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I mean, some of it is just off the wall, the filthiest language you've ever heard.
But it's an all-star game of funny people. I mean, Matt Walsh and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I would basically want
Tony Hale.
Tony Hale is so great in it. He is so great. He actually plays the least insulting. He catches a lot more insults than,
he catches the brunt of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really. He's not the. But everybody else, including Julia Louis-Dreyfus, very, like over the top insults, crazy stuff.
Which is the genius behind the show, because as a politician, she has to be all smiley and wonderful and kind, and then as soon as that door closes, she's fucking cutting everybody down
Yeah.
they're all cutting each other down just to get into her good graces so that they can climb up the ladder of it all. And they say, I mean, politicians say it's the most realistic show
Man.
when it comes to what Washington, D.C., what the inside of Washington, D.C. is really like.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of, I mean, again, if you're saying it's that close, then because there's a lot of behind the scenes wheeling and dealing, how they deal with scandals, how they deal with policy and all this stuff. And on top of it is all the jokes and all the crazy characters and everything.
Yeah, which is so, it's one of my favorite shows. I think it's just brilliant. But it is, like Frank said, if that's not your thing, just.
Yeah. It won a shit ton of awards.
Yeah. It might have been her. I think she was better in this than she was in Seinfeld even.
Oh, you're nuts.
No, I think so. Because I feel like, well, first she carries the show a bit more. I mean, there was 4 in the original, and this is an ensemble cast too. But it's her show.
She's the show.
Yeah, she's the star of the show. And there was a couple of episodes where I was like, this is getting a little nuts. But it just, you always kind of come back to it because the insults are so wild and so out there.
Yeah, after a while, like that for me, big fan of the show. But after a while, I'm like, oh my god, it's just give it a break already. It was a little much. Like I'm all for cursing and yelling at people and whatever. But after a while, I was like, all right, I feel like they're just doing it now for just to do it. It felt gratuitous.
Oh yeah,
after a little while.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're about to get into game time, and as we wait for Aaron to get in here, this was the personal thing with stupid Elon. Oh, I'm on my Twitter the other day, and I see this notification here, Frankie. You see that one up at the top there with the little flag?
It says, we've added a temporary label to your account, which may impact its reach. Learn more.
The fuck is that about?
Well, did you learn more?
Yeah.
What does it say?
17 pages of nothingness.
Oh,
of just, you might have done this and you might have done that and you might have did this. And I'm like, I mean, we've been shadow banned before, and I talk about it quite often. I feel like,
well, at least they were nice enough to give you 17 pages of an explanation.
Yeah, here they are just flat out telling us, hey, guess what? You're being banned. You're just going to be shadow banned. Mm-hmm. When you click on it, it says, why does my account have, maybe I should click on this so we can follow along on the screen, because I don't want anybody thinking I'm making shit up.
I think you're making shit up.
I know. When I click on it on the desktop here, nothing happens. What? Did you see that? What's happening? Let's try a refresh-a-rooney. There it is. Okay. Why does my account have a label? We have found that your account may contain spam or be engaging in other types of platform manipulation.
Platform manipulation?
Does this podcast look like the kind of podcast that
I'll give you spam, but we're definitely full of shit here. But platform manipulation?
That's not. I mean, I've said this a million times. I don't give a shit what you do or who you vote for, right? That kind of fucking shit. I don't care. I don't want to manipulate anybody.
I do. I want to manipulate.
Frank does, yeah, but I don't. Yeah. So, yeah, it says you may not use it or engage in behavior that manipulates. That's what I'm saying. Because all of a sudden, if we put out stuff that questions Trump and questions this is what drives me fucking crazy. This guy buys Twitter because he's like, oh, the left controls everything, and we're gonna give the right a chance. And now,
free speech. This guy is all about free speech, and now all of a sudden everything's getting blocked and shut down.
There's your fucking free speech right there. You might be spam and do you see what's on the bottom? What does it say? The big white button down there. Can you see that here? Let me make it nice and big for everybody so they can see it.
Got it. That's your only choice.
That's my right.
What if your choice is I don't got it? What the fuck?
Yeah. Can I appeal? Can I prove my case? Can I come up with some way to show you that I'm not trying to manipulate, that it's just a podcast that has opinions and thoughts and jokes and bits?
Got it.
Your only option is take this up the ass and feel good about it. That's it. That's it. Now, Twitter is not like, we don't have the biggest following on Twitter. Like, out of the scape of where our audience is, it's not mostly on Twitter. Right. But still, this is not, I mean, we've been talking about this ad nauseum since 2021. Like, they got to get this stuff right. And none of them, YouTube, Facebook, especially fucking Facebook, and now Twitter under Elon, because this was not a problem under the previous regime for Twitter. of all of a sudden now we can't get our shit out.
Yeah, no, this is, and there's no way to appeal it, or is there anything specific it says about what
Nothing.
the topics are or anything? I mean, 'cause
Nothing.
was it my assumption is a bot went through what we
Right.
what we're talking about and just
Right.
fucking, you know,
Right. And there's nothing.
Erin in the chat. She says, guys, if this is because I asked everyone what their top 5 favorite breakfast foods are, let me be the first to apologize.
Yeah.
That can get controversial.
It's a good point. Erin, you're a problem. Erin's a
No,
problem.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God.
That'll do
How
it.
can I do games in a time like this?
Yeah. Maybe they don't like kicking one. Maybe we should be pick one and then pick the other one.
Save the other
it's
for
one
later.
we want you to pick.
Yeah.
Right. Fucking Elon and his bullshit.
Yeah.
This
free
is why-
speech my ass.
This is why I get mad at everybody who picks sides. I do. It's just there's never the amount of people. Forget it. Let's just play the game. Let's just play the game. We'll be
Get
here
off your
all night.
soapbox and let's play the game.
Yeah, let's play the game. Let's have some fun. But fuck Elon and Twitter and X and all his bullshit and his fucking poor parenting skills and his bullshit war on the woke mind virus. He can go suck a dick if you ask me.
Boom.
I just want to thank you guys again for the best introduction a girl could get.
Ladies
fun
and gentlemen,
times.
Erin C.
Follow that,
Every
Aaron.
single time. All right. If anybody's
Sorry.
ready for fun. No, it's okay. But it's just if anybody's ready for fun, which I'm hoping. This one kind of got away from me. It's blind top 5, but it's 10 spots.
10
And Anthony, I'm gonna let you, because you're all for choice. I'm gonna let you choose something. Now,
Yay.
choice.
Yes. And I'm not going to say, no, you chose wrong and you can't have this, because I know that's the theme today. So this is okay. So these are movies. All of these movies have more than one word. And I want you to rate, and they're on a list. All but one are on a list of 100 movies everyone's seen. So I'm hoping that everybody's seen them. Now, here's the thing you get to choose, Anthony.
Okay.
I can give you, for the list, what the last word starts with for all 10, or we could just play it blind, but that's up to you, because originally it was going to have to do with the last word.
Well, what's the topic? What it was do we know
Just these are movies that most everybody's seen, and just rate them.
rate
Then
your
they've
favorite.
never been mentioned, and they've never been in any of the top 5.
Ooh.
They've never been any of the blinds before. These are all new movies.
Okay. And my choice is we go totally blind, or you give us the last word of the movie.
The first letter of the last word of the movie. It really doesn't help, but it gives you some sense of control, which I think you need tonight. But you tell me.
No, let's go blind. Frank,
Okay.
right? Blind?
Yeah.
A blind sounds fine.
Okay.
Okay. So this is just how much you like them, not knowing what's next. Again, these are all, the only hints I can give you is none of them are one word movies. They all but one are on the list of 100 movies everybody's seen. So I'm hoping that everybody's seen them. But if you haven't seen them, just guess where you'd put them. You probably know what they're about. They're pretty universal. And they've never been in any of the top 5s before. I mean, what's up, babe?
No, I was gonna say also pick up Oval today. Erin wrote great book. It's called Oval. It's available on Amazon. Link in the description below. It's available for digital download. You could buy a hard copy, physical copy. You can pick it up today. It's a great book written by Erin C.
And this community has more people that have read it than my friends and family, and that is true. So thank you guys. It's true. Nobody in my life has read this book.
I've
But
read it I've
two
read
people-
it at least
two
twice.
people have. 2 people have, but this community, far and wide, have surpassed them. So thank you. Okay, this is 10 spots. Everybody ready?
Ready.
Okay, movie number 1 is Groundhog Day.
Oh, love Groundhog
shit.
Day.
If you haven't seen it, I'm very surprised, but it's Bill Murray, and he's reliving the same day over and over again in this small Pennsylvania town.
Right. That's a great movie. Now, this is all right. If you really love the movie, put it at 1. If you're not a huge fan, towards the bottom, 10. So it's 1 to 10. Everybody playing along.
I can't do this.
Groundhog
I can't do it.
That's because you know you're going to get errand. There's going to be a great movie that you can't. That's the point of this game, though. That's why it's blind top 5.
I know.
Also, thank you, Robin, for putting the link for Oval in the chat. Appreciate that.
But I feel like this is the first time we've got Errand on number one. Number one can be difficult to rank, but we have 9 more movies to figure out, and
That's why I
Groundhog
kinda
Day
play,
is the first one.
I play it safe. I'm going 4. But you never know. The movie, the other movies that Aaron says could be crappy movies, but everybody saw them.
Dude, I would never stop. I would not stop laughing if the rest of the 9 movies were complete dog shit.
Shit.
No, but she said it was popular
Room.
movies,
No, it's movies that everybody has seen.
as everybody has seen. Oh, I mean,
You might hate the movie. You could hate the movie. What if it's The English Patient?
okay, true, good point.
You know, it could be anything. You don't know. I've never seen The English Patient, but from what I understand, it's long and boring.
Fucking Groundhog Day.
So we got a lot of numbers in the chat already. Bird 3, TD Freelancer 7, Mercury 6, Robin 7, Justice 7, Christine 5, Flying Y 6, Hey Would You Blow Me 2, Lindarella 8, Christella 8, Rhonda 6, Aussie Annie 8.
Where did you put it 4?
I got it at 4. So I know there's going to be other great movies, but I'm sorry, this notebook has a bunch of the other.
And this was not this. There's no time frame. There's no themes. There's no man.
No, there's
Man.
movies a lot of people have seen, and none of them are one word.
All right, I have to go. I have to go with Frank here. At 4 is kind of
You got to play it safe a little in the beginning because
you're playing defense. Yeah. Okay. All right, Groundhog 4 for me. All right.
Yeah, you put Groundhog Day at 1 or 2, you're screwing yourself.
Jim Carrey was not in this movie.
What?
Someone asked, was that the movie with Jim Carrey?
Oh.
No.
You know, there was a movie that it's similar to I forget what it's called, Palm Springs, I think, with Andy
Yeah.
Samberg.
Mhm.
It's similar to Groundhog Day. It was very good. I liked it. It's on like Hulu or something.
Okay. Andy Samberg and ripoff of Groundhog Day seems like 2 strikes against for me.
It was a good movie. It was good. Andy Samberg is good. You
Really?
didn't see Brooklyn Nine-Nine, that show?
No.
Oh,
No.
it was on for 8 seasons. That's a
It's
great
good?
show.
Is it a good show or is it Andy Samberg's great show?
It's a really good show.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for clarifying that. All right, Aaron.
Okay, we're swinging the pendulum to the other side, to Pulp Fiction.
Let's see.
All right. Pulp
You
Fiction.
know.
Now, this is your own opinion. This isn't.
Right.
You know,
Well-
it's an iconic movie, you know, so I have to put it at 1. If you don't like it, you could put it lower, which is
And-
what I'm doing.
I don't know how to describe it. So if you don't know what it's about by now, it's very pulpy
batshit.
and it's not a true story. Pulp Fiction.
I mean,
Pulp
Pulp
could move,
Fiction.
baby.
Pulp Fiction is one of the greatest movies of all time. Come on.
You're nuts.
I mean, am I?
Yeah, it's a good
Because look at the early numbers: 2, 2, 6,
Robinson.
1,
I got
5.
it at 7
What?
because it's a really good movie. It is, but I can't. It's so batshit. I can't. It rips off of a million different things.
No, it doesn't. What does it rip off of?
There's so many comparisons to earlier movies that he borrows from. That it's like, all right, it's a good movie, and the acting is really good, but it's very over the top, and sometimes I just can't.
Oh my
Can't
God.
deal with it. And
You're
there are other
insane.
movies that I like better, and I put it at 7 because it's one of those movies I can't just sit down and watch.
You're insane.
I know.
I could watch that movie at any time.
I hid the watch in my ass.
A pizzazz. You put the watch where he do. Yeah.
I want to do a little throwback trivia for you.
Yeah.
On this show, what was the movie that you said you hoped was playing when you were informed your mother passed away?
That sounds like something I would say.
I never forgot it. It's burned in my brain.
This is the next movie on the list.
No, it's just
Oh.
something I'm wondering if he loves this movie so much, and said something like that, he could recall it a couple of weeks later.
No, you should know that I can't. I'm guessing it wasn't Pulp Fiction. Or was
No,
it?
it wasn't.
I think
just
Could I guess?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, right, Anthony? Can you guess?
Can he guess? Yeah, sure.
Is it Rudy?
It was Rudy.
It was Rudy.
It was Rudy.
I mean, the Rudy is one of the great. I mean, come on, stop it now. Rudy is the best sports movie ever. Is there a better sports movie than Rudy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Rocky.
even Gene
Rocky
Siskel
2.
or Roger Ebert wouldn't say this is the
Rocky
movie they hope is
4.
playing.
I think Rudy's great, but there are other movies that are better. Sports movies.
What? Name a
Rocky.
better.
Any Rocky? Well, 1 through 4. Let's see. I even go Major League. I'd rather watch Major League.
Go away. Will you stop it?
How about A League of Their Own?
All right, League of Their Own is great. The genius of here's why Rudy is better than.
No, we already did sports movies. We're
Okay. Let me just say this one sentence and then we will move on. I promise.
Oh, sure. You get the last word.
This is why Rudy is better than Rocky, because Rudy is believable. Rocky, you have a
It's
loser
believable because it's a real story.
who beats
It's a
the
true
world champion.
story.
No, but what's believable at Rudy is he does he slugs it out, and I'm sorry, spoiler alert. He makes it. He does it. He gets one play. It's realistic. It's
No, I know. But
okay. All right, break it up. Go to your
fine. You
corners.
got the one sentence
don't
and it's
think-
over.
Don't think that I don't think I'm picking Rocky when I say go to your corners, but you know. And also, Frank, can you do your line from Major League?
Just a bit outside. That's a fantastic movie. Anybody
Bob
hasn't seen
Uecker.
Major League?
Yeah, it's so good.
Enough down memory lane. Let's go to number 3. Don't throw tomatoes at me, people. The Goonies.
Okay. Goonies number 10 for me. Number 10.
What are the odds?
I've never seen the Goonies.
I didn't know he was wearing that shirt.
Wearing the Goonies shirt.
You live together. How can anybody believe this?
I love the
You
He
Goonies.
took a
not look at
shower
him?
when he joined you guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's true. And this, my goddaughter got this for me for Father's Day.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Let's see, the Goonies. I'm gonna put that. I'll put that at 5.
Okay. Is that above Pulp Fiction?
Tis.
Your list is.
I'm sorry, but the Goonies was our childhood. That movie we grew up with.
I've never seen it. Never seen it once.
What?
Never seen Goonies once.
So then, why are you saying it's not better than Pulp Fiction?
It's just not.
Yes,
It's
it
just-
God, the
is.
numbers are so low.
Thank you.
Goonies.
People have-
TD Freelancer, thank you. Christine, thank you. 3. The Goonies is such a great, iconic movie.
Lots of 8s and 9s and 10s though.
Spielberg, and it's just what a great movie. That
Look at
Never
this.
seen
Robin,
it, says
look at this
Robin.
team I'm putting together. Robin, Aussie Annie, and myself. I mean, that's a powerhouse.
Ah, guys, what? And Robin put it at 10. I mean, yeah, if you haven't seen it, I understand, but The Goonies is just such a great movie.
Not one person has a positive thing to say about the Goonies in all the comments.
No, Mercury says you must
What?
watch The Goonies.
He's making that up.
Vanessa, Goonies was cool.
For those listening, Frank is making all this up. We don't even have a fan that's a Vanessa, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Just so you know, someone has said Sean Astin has been in half of these. He was in Rudy, but Rudy is not on the list.
Rudy's
Yeah,
not-
we're confused. We confuse people.
Neither
We've
is
only gone through.
Rocky.
We've
Neither
only
is
gone
Major
through.
League.
No, we've only gone through 3 movies: Groundhog Day, Pulp Fiction, The Goonies. Those are the only 3. TD Freelancer, I agree 100% with Frankie C.
Sounds made up.
The Goonies, man, you got to watch. You've never seen The Goonies?
Never, not once.
Oh, you're nuts. That was. What did you grow up watching?
Rudy.
I hate you.
Pulp
Rudy and
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Dick.
All right, Aaron. What's number 4?
All right. So the 4th movie is Little Shop of Horrors. It's the movie
Ooh.
with the big plant that eats people, starring Rick Moranis and
Yes,
Ellen.
The Rick Moranis version.
Okay,
Okay.
I've seen Little Shop of Horrors. I don't think it's that good. I can't believe that it's gotten a Broadway and all this. I feel like we spent way
Well, it's
too
a
much time
musical.
with Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, I know. It's enough already. I'm going to put it at number 9. I hate it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Feed me.
It's not rewatchable. It's stupid. I probably was too young when I saw it the first time. Didn't love it. And now I just resent it.
Man,
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Someone did Little Shop of Horrors hurt you as a child?
Well, here's the other thing. Steve Martin's the dentist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Steve Martin's worst appearance in a movie. It's terrible. It's not good. It's not
All
good,
right.
Steve Martin. They ruined Steve Martin. I'm sorry.
I like the movie and I like some parts of it. So I did put it low on the list because I feel like we're gonna get other movies that might be better. So I put it at 8.
Okay. You give me a hard time. You went one slot higher than me.
Because I like to give you a hard time. This is my list so far. On this side, pay no attention to the other side. That's other lists from other.
So you have 1 through 3 wide open right now?
I have 1, 2, and 3 open. 6, 9, and 10.
Okay. All right.
Can I
I
tell you
still
a quick
have.
story about when I was a bad girlfriend before I met Frank?
Yes. Oh,
Do we have
wait.
time?
Impossible.
Is he okay with this? Wait, were you
He
with?
knows it.
I'm confused. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just dating this guy, and I was living in New York City in my 20s, and I was working in a field that was Broadway adjacent, and I had a big crush on Hunter Foster. He was a Broadway actor. He's the brother of Sutton Foster, who's been in stuff, and he actually got into an elevator with me, he and his girlfriend, and I like was so like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I just faced forward, but I was like, and I called my boyfriend, and I was like, I was in a elevator with Hunter Foster, and he was like, did you hit on him? And I was like, his girlfriend was right there, and he was like, that's the wrong answer. So we broke up soon after that.
Yeah, because if the girlfriend wasn't right there, then
You had to take in your shot.
yeah.
Who could
It was
blame you?
such a stupid answer.
It's funny though.
That's not
Yeah.
stupid. If I'm on that elevator with Charlize Theron, I'm saying the same friggin' thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so all right, next one. Again, we're swinging the pendulum to horror with
Ooh.
the Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, it's a great movie. Oh, Agent Starling. I ate his liver with some
Dr. Lecter.
fava beans and a nice Chianti. Dr. Lecter. All right, I'm going to put Silence of the Lambs at 6.
8.
Really?
It's the lowest I can go right now. I like it. It's groundbreaking, certainly quotable, rewatchable. Not really.
That's all. That's what you're basing this on. If it's rewatchable,
No, I'm not solely basing it on that. If it's a great movie and not rewatchable, I'll go a little higher. It's a good movie.
Silence of the Lambs. For anybody flying wise, I didn't miss it. Silence of the Lambs. Oceani 1,
Wow.
Rhonda 2, Justice 3, Cage
Wow.
8, Robin 5. I don't know how when the list started. Mercury 2, Bird 5, Hey Would You Blow Me 9, Christine Colson 10. Yeah, it's a.
We have to say
great-
out loud, "Hey, would you blow me?"
Hey, would you blow me? Silence of the Lambs. What a great movie. Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins. I feel like someone that must have taken home some Oscars, right? It had to.
I think so. Yeah,
I think it was even Best Picture that year.
it might have been. Didn't she win for it? She was great in it.
I think so, but I'm not sure. But she should have.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think-
sorry.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
Gotcha.
My
Sorry about that.
fault.
Okay.
My fault.
So yeah, Silence of the Lambs, great movie. The sequels, but definitely, if you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, definitely see Silence of the Lambs. Oh yeah, one of the most iconic, Buffalo Bill and his dog with the basket and the lotion. Yeah, and it doesn't even have Anthony Hopkins or Jodie Foster in it in that scene.
I know. Fucking
But,
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill. I do a small impression of that guy, and Erin doesn't like when I do it because she gets
No, don't do it.
I'm not gonna do
Why?
it because it
scary.
freaks her out.
Oh, was it good? Is it that? Oh, now you have to do it.
All right, fine, do it.
Now you're gonna make me laugh. Would you? This when she's
Oh, I
he's
hate it.
he's trying to get the couch into the van, and he's got a cast on his arm, and that's how he traps the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Oh, do you need a hand with that?" And then he says that, and it's like spot on.
Would you?
Would you? And if I do it, at home. Aaron does not like it. Sorry, I brought it up, Aaron.
No, it's okay. I got a huge. I mean, I was young when that came out, but when my parents came home, they gave my sister and I like a big, my sister and me a big speech on, if anybody ever asks you to help them, even if they have a cast, you know, and we were like, well, what about helping people? And they were like, this is what we were afraid of. Like, don't help.
Don't help anybody. A guy, yeah. This is your mom was like, a man could come along and help. They don't need help from a girl that, from a girl walking by herself. Yeah.
Yeah, she said that.
Yeah. It's definitely, I feel like that scares people from helping, and then like just the same way like Jaws scared people out of the ocean.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Stop helping the sharks.
don't help the sharks load their vans with couches.
Okay. The next one, are we good?
Yeah,
good.
Okay, this is the only one that wasn't on the list. I just wanted it on the list. This is the Aaron one. This is The Muppets Take Manhattan, just because I like that movie.
Muppets Take Manhattan.
it's a good movie.
That is a good movie. Oh man. See, I'm gonna put this either too high or too low because I only have 1, 2, 3, or 9 and 10 open. Muppets Take Manhattan. Charles Grodin. Kermit, Miss Piggy.
Look at me, here I am, right where I
Oh,
belong.
that one. Sorry, I'm thinking Muppets. What's the one with the jewel heist?
Oh, the Great Muppet Caper.
Great Muppet Caper. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Muppets
so
Take
just so
Manhattan
you
is a
know,
great-
this is the one where the Muppets, they want to put on a Broadway musical, but they all have to work jobs in Manhattan and split up so they can all work jobs. Some of them in Manhattan, some of them other, and then they come back to make a show. It's really good.
Is Brooke Shields in that one?
No. A lot of people though popping up. Gregory Hines.
Yeah, that's right, Gregory Hines.
What's her name? Can we talk?
Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers is in it. Ed Norton, not Edward Norton, the actor, the guy who played Ed Norton.
Art Carney.
Art Carney, thank you. He's in it.
Ed Koch.
Ed Koch.
Koch is yeah.
He was like in every
People say-
movie that involved Manhattan for a while.
The guy who just passed away. The guy they go to first. He's like singing, dancing, shooting. Oh, no shooting. No.
Oh, Dabney Coleman.
Dabney Coleman. It's great. I put it at 3.
That's a little high. That's a bit high.
It's high, but I couldn't put it at 9 or 10.
It's just this household. We just like that movie.
It's a great movie.
I put it at 6 because it's a good movie. Kids like it's a rite of passage. I feel.
It
Muppets
is.
Take Manhattan.
Have you watched it with your kids?
No.
Can I come over? Can
I
you do?
We should do a movie night. Let's go.
Yeah.
Muppets Take Manhattan.
They like and I forced upon them the Muppets Christmas Carol because I'm like, this is one of the best Christmas Carol movies.
Is a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great one as well with Michael Caine.
Yeah. All right, we got 4 left.
Okay, the next one, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Let's have an adult conversation. I'm putting Ferris Bueller's Day Off at number 7. It is a good movie. It is of the times. It is way overrated in the grand scheme of things. Way over. Is that Hughes? Did he write that or direct it?
You did one of them.
Yeah. It's not even one of the great John Hughes movies.
a lot of iconic scenes.
A lot of iconic scenes, definitely, again, of the time. Resonated big time in the 10, 15, 20 years after. But I don't
think
know.
someone actually quoted it earlier in this podcast. In the
Really?
chat. I think it was Bird. Life moves kind of fast, or something like that. I think someone said that in the chat.
Yeah, I liked it. I saw it when we were younger. Then I watched it again, and I was like, I don't know.
There are movies that happens a lot. You see a movie when you were younger, and then you watch it again when you're adult. Like, what the hell? What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Slapshot is. I'm sorry, hon.
No, I'm sorry.
You ever see the movie Slapshot?
Yeah, I love Slapshot.
Yeah, I used to love Slapshot.
No,
Watch
no
it
more.
now. It's. I mean, I love hockey, and all the scenes with the where they're playing hockey is great. But there's so much downtime in that movie, and it's like it's boring.
The pacing is a
sorry.
little. Yeah,
The
the pacing's
pacing
a
it's
little rough.
very slow.
Yeah.
And it's you rewatch it and you go, oh, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But I put Ferris Bueller at 9 because
Wow.
I only have 1, 2, 9, and 10 open. I couldn't put it at 1 to 2. I know I'm going to get errand.
I still have one open. I'm getting nervous. There's only 3 left, Frank.
Yeah. Right now I have 1, 2, and 10 open. If you can see that.
I'm
You
just
do-
wondering if Lindarella is accusing our household of being high. Lindarella, we are not high. We just like the Muppets. And if you're offended that I asked you, if people asked you, Lindarella, cut it up one time earlier, it's just what I think of because of salt and pepper. But I hope you're not offended. I didn't mean it. Okay, so the next one, everybody ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Here we go. The Shawshank Redemption.
Nice. That's a great friggin' movie.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go from Anthony. We're gonna get an explanation of either why you haven't seen it or why you think it's an overrated movie. Go ahead.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
I don't know why we're friends.
I'm embarrassed by this one. I have to admit.
Oh my god.
I'm
That is
embarrassed by
such-
this one.
Watch this movie, please. It's a little long, but it's a Stephen King. Here's my thing about Stephen King movies. They are masterpieces when they're movies made for the movie theater, made and done in the movie theater.
Okay.
When they're done on TV, it's like you go, all right, you know. But every time there's a Stephen King movie that comes out in theaters, it is like the most iconic movie. Shawshank Redemption. What's the one with Misery? It was TV, but then the other ones came out in the movie, the newer ones. Cujo, Pet Cemetery. I mean, every one is like such a huge hit. Every time I feel like, am I wrong, Stephen King, when they come out in the movies?
Yeah, no. Wasn't what was the one in
The Green Mile is another one.
Green Mile? The one with Jack Nicholson.
The Shining, yes,
The
very
Shining.
good. It's a huge movie in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
It's always whenever a Stephen King movie hits the theaters, it's like best picture. It's either up for or wins best picture that year.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm going to put it at
Salem-
5 because I haven't seen
That's
it.
a great one. Carrie, another one. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot of a ton of them.
That's
I
fine.
put it. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Where'd you put it?
I put it as at number 2, and I am happy with that. Salem's Lot, was that TV or
That
was
was
that in the
TV.
theater? That was
That
TV.
scared me.
I haven't seen it. I want to see that one.
Okay.
Read the book.
All right, just 2 more left. I have 1 and 3 open.
I have
Cinderella.
1 and 10.
I hope you never have a bad day at work again, girl. And also, Fly and Y had the Mandela effect with Jim Carrey in Groundhog Day, and I had that once with Outbreak. I thought Anthony Edwards from ER was in it, and Frank was like, "That was Kevin Spacey," and I was
Yeah,
like,
because
"No, I would have bet
yeah.
anything." And
He had red hair in that.
I remember him in that. Like, it wasn't one of those, "Oh, now you're right." I was like, "What?" It was crazy. I was crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is second to last is Edward Scissorhands.
Oh,
I would explain it, but
it's,
I
if
think
you
you got
can get it, you could probably get it from the title. It's a guy named Edward with Scissorhands. Johnny Depp, another great movie. Tim Burton. Oh man, I only have 1 and 10 open.
I have 1 and 3. I got to put it at 3 because I can't, in good conscience, put that at number 1.
Oh man, this is killing me. I can't put it at 1, but I don't want to put it at 10. It's a better movie than half of the movies on this list, I think. But I gotta go 10 because I can't put it at 1.
Watch as he struggles with being errand.
I'm gonna get errand right here.
This is it. We're watching it
Yeah.
happen.
It's gonna happen, and it's gonna be my number 1 movie is gonna be like, Dunstan Checks In or something.
I will never forgive her if she puts one out like that.
that would be great if
Oh
she just
my
screws
God.
us with Dunstan checks in.
This is fucking baby's day out. We'll never play these games ever again.
Beethoven's second.
Oh shit! Angels in the infield. I mean, these are you know.
This like was it Tremors 7?
I
There were
can't
7 Tremors movies.
Yeah, right. I mean, after the first one, we got it.
First one was great.
It
Second
was
one
good.
was okay. Then
It
it
was.
just went off the fucking rails.
I do love Edward Scissorhands too. Groundbreaking. I love Burton. Again, another one that you can't really You got to be in the mood for it. It's so bizarre and weird.
It is a very bizarre movie. But
There's also what's that, Aaron?
It's got to be Christmas. It's Christmas.
it is a Christmas movie. That's true.
It's a little creepy too. Wasn't there like a creepy sexual? I feel like I remember a sexual scene where he's like undressing a girl with his scissor hands or something.
There's a woman in the town that's very
coming on to him,
flirting,
right?
coming on to him.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
Gets in the hair shop, the beauty parlor.
Right.
Yeah.
Little I don't know, weird for young Anthony to watch that. I remember feeling weird about that.
You had some questions.
Yeah, and it still kind of pops in my. I still get that feeling of like I don't know about this. You know,
I'm watching this as a 41-year-old, and it's making me uncomfortable for some reason. I can't pinpoint why.
Yeah, still it's weird. All right, Aaron, last one. I know.
Here we go.
Bird played it just like you, Frank. She had 1 in 10 open.
So, all right, where did Bird put Edward Scissorhands?
I think 10.
10.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, all right.
Because I can't put it at 1, but it is a great movie. I wish I could put it higher.
Robin's got 3. So we got a lot of high spots open. Okay, Aaron.
Hey, sorry. I don't think this is being errand. I don't. I needed a 10th one. So
Before you even say it, we've already been errand.
all right.
Frank just got errand. I feel like you errand me with Pulp Fiction at the beginning of the game. Like we,
Oh.
Okay, no, I'm just saying I don't think the last one is like the bullet that everyone
Okay.
is. It is Look Who's Talking. The Talking
Okay.
Baby.
all right. This number
See,
one,
I'm kinda
no,
screwed here.
but I do
It's
love
not
it.
Number 1.
I do love it.
It's a great movie. It is. I have to put it at number 1 because it's all I got left.
Yeah.
But I would put it a little lower, of course. But it is a really good movie.
No, listen. This list is abysmal for me. I mean, this is just not.
I mean, Abe Vigoda alone carries that movie.
Oh my God, so good. I love
Is
when
that
she.
my grandson out there? Did you meet my grandson? Such a good movie.
What does he say? Oh, where he thinks they're hiding his wife from him. What was her name?
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember the candy bars, and he could have one candy bar.
And he hits the orderly, or he bites the orderly, or something. I love when she slams the shit diaper on the guy's on what's his name's desk.
Yeah. Oh, we do that all the time. Erin and me, we quote that all
Now
the
it's
time.
true.
Now it's junk. That's what she says when she
Yeah.
that desk cost whatever $1,000. Now it's junk.
I was 9 when I saw that in the theater, and my mom was really strict. And I just looked it up. It was PG-13, but I guess she thought Talking Baby, it'll be cute. Only for the first scene for me to be like, "What are those?" And she's like, "Oh God, there's sperm."
You bring up a good point, Aaron. That was a lot of inappropriateness in that movie. Like I remember watching that young too. I don't know if I saw it in the theater, but I remember watching it young and going, "Is this what adulthood is like?" Like
No, like adultery. I couldn't get it. I was like, he's married, and because I'm 9, and I'm like, I don't get it. Why is she having? What is going on? And my mom's like, just focus on the talking baby. Isn't he cute? I'm like, uh-huh.
Yeah, Bruce Willis is killer in it too. As just
he's great.
I mean, he does a great job, just the voice and everything.
Is that the first time I think Bruce Willis and John Travolta were in a movie? Then they were.
Yeah.
This is 2 Bruce Willis John Travolta team ups. This one in Pulp Fiction.
Which was so funny to me at the time because I remember when Pulp Fiction came out and they're like, "Oh, it's the comeback of John Travolta," and I'm like, "He slayed and Look Who's Talking." What do you guys? Did you
great
miss
in
that
Look Who's
one?
Talking.
Like he was brilliant. What comeback? He's always been on top. Little did I know there was a whole thing before,
For like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
It was Grease, and then it was not Grease.
Saturday Night
Grease,
Fever.
Saturday Night Fever, and nothing for a while.
Yeah.
Linderella didn't get to see Ghostbusters.
I had to see Ghostbusters. There was a rated R preview in the beginning, and they were showing like nudity to children. So my aunt left the theater, and we didn't get to see Ghostbusters. A preview with nudity in the
That's
80s? That's crazy.
Hmm.
I can't imagine that. I wonder. That's nuts.
I mean, think about it. The movie, the Look Who's Talking, starts with the swimming sperm, like Aaron was just saying, and that was a
Let
baby
my
talking
love
movie.
open the door.
Yeah, I
Let
mean,
my- yeah, that was and the effects when she was pregnant, and they would cut to a shot of the baby in the womb, and it's Bruce Willis talking.
yeah,
Good for the 80s. That was
it's
good
pretty
stuff.
advanced. Yeah,
but a great movie. And I got it. I had to put it in at 1. Of course, I would put that one lower. That there are other movies on this list that are more classic and that are better. But hey.
Well, to quote Mercury, I think that if you haven't seen any of these, they're movies a lot of people have seen. Okay, so thank you for letting me be part of it. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Bye.
thank you, Aaron.
Great job, Aaron.
Yeah, nice job.
Another great blind top 5. Remember to get that Oval book from Amazon, available today. Aaron wrote a wonderful book. It is available to buy on Amazon, digital download or hard copy.
My list is abysmal. I have Look Who's Talking above Pulp Fiction, Groundhog Day. And
I have Look Who's Talking at number 1 on the whole list.
I know, it's terrible.
Shawshank, I like at number 2. Groundhog Day, The Goonies, I could live with at 4 and 5. Muppets Take Manhattan at 3. It's a little high. Silence of the Lambs at 6. Pulp Fiction at 7. Little Shop of Horrors 8. Ferris Bueller 9, and Edward Scissorhands 10. I would move Scissorhands up a little bit. But all in all, not a terrible list on my part, I don't think.
No, this was crazy difficult. Aaron won this round. Aaron out and out won this round.
All the points go to Aaron.
Yeah, yes. We get 0. She gets all the points, 100%.
Great job, though.
Yes, good job and a lot of fun. That's it for the Wednesday show. I don't honestly know if there's going to be a Friday show. We haven't talked about this either, but I am not going to really be around. There's a small possibility, maybe. I don't know if you're around. I don't think are you going to be around? I don't think so.
I don't know where the hell I am right now.
Friday show up in the
there.
air, and maybe a little pre-recorded thing I might be able to pull off. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, if Joe Biden dies, we'll do something. But short of that, I don't know.
Yeah, but in case not, have a great rest of the week. Great weekend.
Yes,
and we shall return.
We'll see you eventually. You know what I'm saying? And where will Donald Trump and Kamala Harris be then? Who the hell knows? But we'll be talking about it. So
I'm sure we will.
Until then, have a good one.
Show me potato salad. Maybe we should go now. Go ahead.